Hello and what is up guys, Rye here and welcome back to some more automation and BeamNG.Drive. In front of us is a build I did quite a while ago and it's actually featured in one of my newer videos. This is the 2020 Audi, which is the brand name, and the GT is the model name. There's no trim name. This is like the only car that I've made ever of this brand. So what we're doing today, as you probably can tell by the thumbnail and title of the video, is we're making this car into a GT4 or GT3 sort of mixed class race car. So it's going to be a race car through and through. We're starting off with this as our base, and I'm going to go ahead and redesign the front end because, yeah, it's got a lot of issues. It's kind of ugly. I like the grille. It's fine. This is very, very large. There's a lot of air intake, a lot of air suck. These vents are disgusting. These hood vents are weird. Yeah, we're going to redo a lot of this car. Partial aluminum, AHS steel, monocoque, longitudinal double wishbone multi-link. That's all fine. We could go to AHS steel, but I feel like this is a, it's a production car. The GT4 class is basically a production car with extra aero bits and like detuned or tuned up power, etc. So we'll keep that for now. We're keeping the engine the same though. It's a 4.7 liter twin turbo V8. I think it's a 4-valve engine if I'm not mistaken. It is a 5-valve per cylinder, so it's interesting. 7,000 RPM red line. It's an okay engine actually. It's an old build, but it's an okay engine. This is a variant of it. So we gotta tune it down to about, let's say, 500 or so horsepower. Lower the quality on this. Is the quality fine for everything else? Okay, that's all good. It's knocking a little bit. Let's lower down the... Oh gosh, there's so much things here. The boost. Let's lower down the boost by a good bit. Let's lower the cams by a good bit as well. So 490 horse already and 540 torque, which is honestly pretty reasonable already. Not much to be done on this. 495. I think if we're basing like some specs off things like the Toyota Supra, the Audi R8, the Ford Mustang and GT4 race cars, they're in and around 400 to 500 horsepower is what they're in and around. The Audi R8 makes 495 horse and it weighs about 3,500 pounds. It is a 7-speed dual clutch, which is pretty much fine, I'd say. It's got to be a rear-wheel drive though. And top speed is 400. We'll actually increase this to a bit and we'll lower this down. I will change the top speed to whatever GT4 cars are limited to. We'll just lower it down for now to like 240, which is like really reasonable. Semi-slicks, please. I think what they have for tires and wheels is like a 305 setup, if I'm not mistaken. They got 305s front and rear, non-staggered as far as I know. For example, the Toyota Supra, the GT4 Supra weighs 1350 kilograms from what I could find. It's got 305 18-inch wheels, so at 18s. I think that's the standard 18s, 305. So it's pretty big. The fenders, they aren't filling up too nicely, but that's okay. We'll leave that for now. 305s front and rear. And we'll do this to offset them a little bit. So we'll do that. We'll make this thing quite a bit lower. 4-piston brakes rear, 6-piston front, 355 and 395 millimeters. We are using inches, so we'll go just pretty large. It's a 6-piston and 4-piston. I think the brakes are fine, actually. I'm worried about brake fade. We'll increase the pad type a little bit. The aero... We go a little bit of brake airflow. The cooling airflow is fine. It's going to be a 2-seater only with just like sport interior and like less infotainment. These are based off of like production cars, but this could be like a lower spec or whatnot. I'm not too sure if they have all the bells and whistles because they are lower down. We don't need launch control. So about 3,800 pounds, which is reasonable, and about 500 horsepower. Again, pretty reasonable power to weight ratio. Okay, it's about half of what it was originally. Because this is already not bad. It's already not bad. The biggest thing for this car really is the looks. Oh gosh. The tire quality is plus 13. Oh my gosh, that's expensive. Plus 15 in the aero. Well, let's lower this down a bit to plus 5. Plus 5. We'll go to this plus 5. And we're probably even cheaper. Yeah, we're even cheaper already. So plus 5 for a few things. The brakes will do plus 5 as well. This is a race car. It's going to be pretty expensive, actually. We can actually, we could probably make it crazy expensive. The production car is 240. Without the race car mod that we're doing right now, the race car features we're giving it. So we can make it actually a little more expensive. It needs to be lowered. Oh, good. Active comfort. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Let's do a race tune here. And just lower it pretty low. That fills it out a bit better. The color is this really gross, silvery kind of blue. The looks are really weird. We're gonna go ahead and design this car. In a time lapse, I'm gonna redo the headlights, probably almost the entire thing actually. Because it needs to be a bit more race car themed. We're going to give it some race car, like, not a livery, but, like, probably, like, decals or decals and things like that. Not decals, decals, etc. So what we're going to do is design the car in a time-lapse, We're going to go over the car pretty quickly and hop into BeamNG, and we're going to see what this thing can do. So sit back, relax, guys, and I hope you enjoy. So we're now starting the design of the new reimagined Ozagavio GT, but the GT4 Racecar version. So the front end is being completely deleted basically, except for the basic grille shape. We're going to redo the bottom front fascia by hand using reverse dog tape and a bunch of other fixtures as well. We're not going to make the front grille quite so gaudy. It's going to be the same size, but it won't be 100% used for air. The headlights are changing into this rectangular circular kind of shape instead of being two single rectangles. With the steel rail under the main headlight housing, similar to the previous one, but a bit different, obviously. The car emblem has changed again. We're doing the same cross-thatch pattern as the previous one, but much more chunky, much more substantial. And at the bottom, we're going to have just a horizontal slat vent system, I guess, for the bottom front fascia. The main badge, we are sort of trying around with different badging and stuff. I want to use this shape, similar to Mercedes-Benz, it's quite large in your face. The design takes after Hyundai and Mercedes with the headlights now, I feel like. Adding some front bits and bobs to make it a bit more race car up front. I have added a hood bulge. I've added the hood pins. We are playing with the wheels now. I do find a lot of good ones. The ones I really wanted, I couldn't find though. There's one specific wheels I could not find. That's okay. We stick with this 6 pattern rim for now. They are quite chunky sidewalls. Just tweaking with the back. Basically, getting the ability to remake the back end, just laying out things here and there. Part of the back fixtures were locked for some reason, so I couldn't actually move them. I had to unlock them. I'm not sure why I ever locked my fixtures, but apparently I did. We did these simple back taillights. The back end's a bit more simple, with this sort of black indentation, this black plastic indentation across the back of the car. We did change it to just one flat carbon fiber piece, and laying out the rear bottom fascia with the rear diffuser and stuff. It is a race car. It's got to be a bit more sporty. It's basically a top-end GT car with a bit of a sporty flair, so we do make our own rear diffuser a bit. Placing bits and bobs there, adding some layers and stuff to it as well. The quad exhaust Della, we're making our own rear diffuser, tuning or changing the side, adding some red piping along the edges of some trim pieces and whatnot, adding a third brake light, adding this, I think it's called a sun strip above the windshield, and we'll add some more details after. Making our own custom badge for now. This is the Ozagavio racing badge. Basically just the normal Ozagavio shape with a bunch of colors in between, with a simple side vent. That was much more simple than the last one, I guess. And we have some decals, or decals, as I like to call it, going across the side of the vehicle. We have Yulu, we have Part Hub, we have Bremby, etc. And in front of us is the new and reimagined 2020 Ozagavio GT4 Racecar. So like I said, guys, in front of us we have the new and improved Ozagavio GT4 race car. And I think it's looking much more sharp, much better than the previous Ozagavio. The headlights were very gaudy on the last one. It's still a very flashy front end, very aggressive. And I would say most would say it's still pretty gaudy looking. It's very in your face. The new badge, I think this is the performance badge for Ozagavio. It's very colorful. I like it. I don't mind it. It's gonna be the actual badge as well, but it's gonna have something else in it for the actual badge. The performance one is just the original badge with lots of colors, and that's really it. We got all the decals on the side. I almost said decals like a complete idiot. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as the previous Ozagavio. The rear end is totally changed as well. We have quad outlet exhaust. We have this rear diffuser kind of thing looking here. Some red piping here and there as well to give it, you know, a bit of a sportier vibe. Power, it's been detuned to 495 horse and I think, what, 560 torque? 555 torque. So it's a pretty good power to weight ratio. It weighs in at, I think it is 3,500 pounds. It's got 495 horse. It's pretty similar to the Audi R8 LMS GT4 race car. Pretty similar again to the Mustang GT. It's pretty similar to every GT4 car actually. It's in and around the same specs as other GT4 cars. I did swap out the original 7-speed dual clutch for a 6-speed sequential. It saves a little bit of weight. Also, one less gear is great. Some cars used a 6-speed sequential, or they swapped out from a manual gearbox to a sequential, because obviously you can't really have a manual and still expect good lap times. While others, I think Audi uses their same 7-speed dual clutch. So some use a sequential, some use a dual clutch, etc. As far as I know, the weight distribution is still quite good. It is rear-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive. Other things, so I think it costs about $210,000. I have changed some things besides that, so it's got some quality on some things, because it's still gonna be pretty expensive. The only thing that's not 100% realistic are the tire sizes. They are 345s in the rear. That's larger than any that I found on any of the GT4 cars. I think the Audi R8 was the biggest I found at 325s from the information I could find in the rear. If you guys know proper, or where I could find proper detailed regulations for all the cars, let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually genuinely interested. They all ran, from what I could see, 18-inch wheels with a pretty hefty sidewall, and 305s front. And some of the 305s rear, some had slightly larger, so ours have slightly larger. Ours are actually 345s, where the largest is 325. 6 pistons up front, 4 pistons in rear, massive brakes. It stops pretty well. Some aero, a lot of wings. So there are wings, if we hide the body here, there are wings inside the car. We've got a couple right there. We've got a couple in the engine itself, and we have one in the back. So it does have some wings on the car to add downforce while we're actually driving it in Beam, because I don't want to have tons of downforce. And automation, it doesn't simulate downforce that well with the front diffuser, so I had to add my own and stuff for the front splitter. So I had to add my own downforce inside the car, basically. So we have this big, old, almost like a diamond shape, a Superman shaped grille. It's similar to the Genesis brand. When I originally made the first Azagavio, it was actually based off of the Genesis G90 concept, or the renders of the Genesis G90, so I made mine off that. With this sort of facelifted model, or updated model, the headlights are a bit different. They're not big old rectangles anymore. They are not separate rectangles. It's one, almost like a rectangle shape with a curve at the end. I think it looks a lot better, fits the car a lot more. It reminds me actually quite a bit of Mercedes-Benz, and that's okay. I think it looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than before. The bottom grille is basically the same shape as before. It is just a little bit smaller, a little bit lower down, and I think a little bit wider as well. So it's still quite aggressive. We have basically some of it blocked out in the edges just so the whole thing can't be used, because you don't need that much air suck. You need a lot, but you don't need that much. With these DRLs on the side sort of just lit up there. A hood bulge with some hood vents. We have some, I guess, hood pins on the front. Gas cap is on there on the side. We have a vent on the side. We have all the decals everywhere with these 6-spoke wheels. And the back, so it's got these dual taillights, similar to the headlights, but just sort of not as angled, just, you know, horizontal. Then with some carbon fiber trimming in the back, and we have more diffuser, etc. in the back, and we have a side skirt on the side. So overall, it was a lot of fun to redesign this car. If you guys want me to redesign more cars, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed, consider subscribing if you got this far. What we're going to do is we're going to hop into Beam, and I want to go on some some GT4 style racetracks. I'm going to see what we can find for some GT4-ish racetracks. If not, we will go on a pretty cool racetrack with the old Azagavio versus the new one. I want to see head-to-head, of course, which one is better on the track. I think the new one's going to be a lot better, but we'll see how they both handle. I'll see you guys in BeamNG in just a sec. So finally, guys, we're in BeamNG with the Azagavio GT4 race car. This is I think the North Collister. It's a mod map. We're doing a custom circuit in this. It's just a pretty short circuit, around 2 or so minutes. It's similar in style and spirit to some other GT4 tracks. I did take a look at some and tried to find a download to some of them, but they just didn't really work out. So we're doing this. We can also do the Nordschleife, but maybe in another video if you guys want to see that. We're going to test the Azagavio GT4, and we might test the Azagavio GT. It transfer over pretty good. There is a bit of glitching with the front grille. That has to do with the reverse dog tape. This little area down there is kind of glitched out. The side looks great. The back looks pretty good as well. I think all the lights, they all pretty much work. The headlights do work. They work. Look at that. They all work. That's pretty cool. So we're going to do a lap or two around this track, however many we really want, just to see how this car drives. There we go. 0-60 in about 3.5 seconds, which is, you know, for sure up there with the other GT4 cars. I think some of them are actually claimed slower, 0-60. Kind of butchered turn 1. That's okay. Take a wide here and cut in nicely. Better. Come on. Not bad so far. It's definitely a bit oversteery. We'll brake. Whatever, it's fine. Coming to the slalom area. We're okay. A bit of a braking because I wasn't sure where we're going. Whoa, whoa. Come on. We're okay. Oh gosh. We're right here. I don't know why there's 2 checkpoints there, but that's okay. Full speed through the straight. Top speed about 250 kilometers an hour, which I'm not too sure what GT4 cars really get up to, but that's okay. No! Oh gosh, the wheel spin is crazy. The wheel spin through third, if we let it. We'll go for one more lap. No, we got a running start this time. So 2 laps, we'll see what we can get. So yeah, definitely been oversteer. It handles really good at high speeds. I'll put a link to download the car down below in the description of the video if you guys want to check it out on BeamNG or whatever. And of course, join the Discord linked in the description. Come on. I'm definitely not the best BeamNG driver, but I'll get there. Come on, braking. Stay in third. We'll go second. Now, ideally, when we're turning here, we want to be like the opposite of what I'm doing with the steering. Be really smooth and getting the steering back and forward, or back and forth, left and right. But we're not doing that at all. It's a habit to get used to. My gosh, come on, we're still ahead by a few seconds. That's pretty good so far. I'll take that. I mean, we had a running start, so I hope we're ahead. Oh, we don't get a slower lap. Cut through the grass just a little bit. We're okay. There we go. Now we're ahead by 5 seconds. Oh, look at that. We did really poor in that back area last time. We slowed down a bit too much. Braking here. Definitely too much braking, but that's okay. The brake's actually almost overheated. Oh, we're fine. Oh, no. Oh, no. Can we even get the same lap? Come on. Come on. We got 6 seconds to get there. Oh, we'll get it. That was a terrible ending. That's a tough corner. It really is tough. So we beat it by 1 second, which is pretty bad. But yeah, it did pretty good. We can test the actual Audi GT. We're going to respawn this car. We're going to stop the timer. So we got a 204 and a 206. Alright, so rolling up right now is the Audi with a base GT model. We have the GT4 in front of us. We're going to take off traction control, take all that off. We're going to do a drag race, see which one's going to win. He's got about, I think it's about 600 or so horsepower approximately. I think it's 560 horse and like 750 pound-feet of torque. We've got 495 horse and 555 pound-feet of torque. So you get less horsepower, less torque, less weight though. And we only have a sequential gearbox, 6-speed, and 2-wheel drive. He's got 4-wheel drive and a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. So, honestly, I think it'll be pretty close. We're about 1,000 pounds lighter, so we'll roll up here a little more. We'll do a burnout. Doesn't really work that well. That's okay. Just a little bit of a burnout. We'll line up a little bit. We'll line up properly here. Okay, he's ready. We'll get ready as well. Oh, we're passing him. Oh, I think he's going to catch up. We'll stay in our lane, please. He was pulling us at the end there. Wow. So he finished at 122 miles an hour. Oh, that was actually a pretty close race. We finished 11.5. He finished 11.8 even. Wow, that was actually a pretty close race. Really close. So he's definitely got more horsepower than me. He was definitely pulling ahead of the end there. If he had a better start, that would have been a bit better. I think we'll go ahead and let's switch it up. We kind of butchered that launch, but I think we'll pull back. Oh, wow! We butchered that launch really badly, but we are pulling back. He's reeling. Wow, we're reeling him in now. There we go, the end. 122, so same speed actually. Pretty bad quarter mile. Let's try it one more time actually. He did 11.7, so 0.1 seconds faster at 120. Let's restart that again. There we go. His mid-range is pretty good acceleration actually. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. So top end, he is slower. We finished 122 again, but our launch was much better. We finished with an 11.7. He finished 11.9 actually. So his was a pretty bad one that time. Actually, if he had the same run as last, it'd be pretty close. The AI is actually doing quite good with the GT4. We're doing better, obviously, but not a ton so. In the actual Audi GT, I think is a little faster if I race. No, I feel the GT4 is faster in the quarter mile, I think, by a little bit. Interesting. Very interesting stuff. We're going to hop in and just exit out of this. And just stay here in the Audi with GT4. We'll hop back into that. Well, overall, I think I did pretty good. I'll leave a link to download the car down below in the description. If you guys want to see more race cars, leave a comment down below. I'm working through all of them slowly but surely, obviously, all different kinds. I'm not sure what will be next. Maybe an electric race car. Who knows, really? If you guys want to see more automation, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see in automation as well. I've got a long list, but I am slowly adding to it. We're getting through it. We're going to have a live stream tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to join the Discord linked in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys mean the world to me, to be honest. This community is pretty great. And of course, as always, I guess, I will see you guys next time.